guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Hey.
What's going on, everyone? And Cap24 here from HuddleGG. In today's video, we're going to talk about the interactions between D-line and O-line when it comes to the pass rush, what matters, what doesn't matter. This is basically something I'm going to talk about when it comes with no abilities. We're not going to put offensive line abilities or defensive line abilities into the equation. Just one-on-one, if you're in a CFM, if you're in regs, or to start the year when there aren't abilities, this is where this is going to be really useful for you. Now, I want to make sure I preface this by saying that this is my observations. These are my conclusions after doing about 2 weeks of study on this, and I'm talking about thousands and thousands of reps. And this is a game that I feel like this is the most complicated thing to discover or figure out, because things I thought that I knew, I would go ahead and do some more testing, and then I would contradict myself. So to say at the least, I still don't know everything that comes into play. This isn't something from EA. This is what I want to tell you in this video is 5 takeaways I've taken from my labbing that I could pass to you that I say, you know what, I am pretty definitively thinking that these are accurate statements, and then try to figure out the rest as we go. So if any of you guys have some things that you think that are I'm missing or off base, please put it in the comments. But I don't like to put theory out there, guys. I like to test things to certainty. And what I'm reporting to you here is going to be stuff that I want to make sure that you know that it wasn't just, in a whim. I did a lot of testing on it, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is player traits. When it comes to player traits, what we're talking about is the way that they can utilize their moves, whether it's finesse or power. You can see here with Dexter Lawrence that says he can only use power moves. And I believe that this is not accurate. Okay, I'm going to show you here with Dexter Lawrence. This first rep, he's going to do a bull rush, which is a power move, which is consistent, right? We think he'd do a power move. Now we're going to do here, he's going to do a swim move, which is also a power move as well with the club, which you see here, that he went ahead and got that. Now you're going to start seeing some finesse moves, right? Where he's now doing a spin move, and you can see how that's not supposed to be in his repertoire. And then also the last one I'm going to show you here is that he's also going to do the rip move, and that's also going to be a speed move. So it shows you here that he's got every single move, and the traits just are not accurate when it comes to what it's reported on the screen. So the second takeaway, guys, we're going to talk about what ratings are what is most important when it comes to the initial move, right? So I can tell you here that after a lot of testing, the finesse move is going to go against the pass blocking finesse in the initial move. And when you have the power moves, you can see it's going to go against the pass blocking power, and that's going to determine what is the first move. Now I'm going to show you here, I have a lineup. As you can see, I've changed every player to have 99 pass block, and then I have 0 on the pass block move and pass block finesse for my entire O-line. Okay, you can see that as I go through here, and you're going to see that we're going to test out what is most important when it comes to it. And what you're going to see is that on that initial move, they're going to get beat almost instantaneously because there's no resistance to the move. So for this illustration, guys, I'm going out there with a normal defense, and I just went ahead and made sure you saw that I had 99 blocking on all my players. They all are the same size. They're 6'5", 320. Basically, they're all got the best stats out there, except for the fact that they don't have any finesse moves or pass move blocking. So I'm just going to run this a couple times and show you that these guys are going to win on their first rep almost every single time when they do a move. This 93 went ahead here on the first replay here. If you want to look at him, you're going to see here on the left side, he went against number 69 and just went ahead and beat him on the first move, right? You're going to see this over and over and over again. When it comes to just not having the finesse moves, these guys are going to win right away when it comes to the blocking, because that's what's coming into port. Now, if these guys don't attempt to move, then it's not going to help them. But you can see how this guy, number 93, is absolutely mauling number 69 with this angle. If I go ahead and change the angles, things will go ahead and change a little bit more. But you're going to see here that these guys are going to win pretty much every time. You can see that we want them to spin. It really doesn't matter. I'm just going to change the angles so you can see that it's going to be a little bit of a different here. But these guys will win pretty much every single time on their initial move. And it's because of the interaction between the finesse moves and the power moves versus the blocking. It has nothing to do with pass block. And that's what I really wanted to make sure you saw. Even though they had 99 pass block, it's not helping them with these interactions. The moves are against the move ratings, and that's what determines who's going to win in that first interaction. Now we're going to go to the next takeaway, which is what does pass block actually do? And from the test that I've shown is that the initial move is going to be finesse, power moves versus your rating from the offense. But once they've done with that move, that's when pass block seems to kick in when it comes to ratings versus ratings, in which that is going to give you to hold the block longer. So if you win that first interaction from the offense, right? Say the guy attempts a finesse move against you, you hold him off that. Now they're going to start these secondary moves, which are like block shed moves. You're going to see a lot of like swim moves or club moves or even rip moves. And when they do that, that's when pass block is basically kicking in. So if I go ahead and hike this ball, what you're going to see here is I'm just going to go and show you here. I did take the pass block a little bit higher on these guys, and you can see that they absolutely won this rep. If I go into instant replay and show to you, what you're going to see here is that I did not change anything on the defensive line. It's the same thing I've been doing the entire time. But you're going to see if we do this interaction. I'll look at 65 first here. This is the first move, right? Because he does a move. Now he's into where pass blocking is kicking in. And he's trying to do a secondary move. And you can see here that our guy goes ahead and stonewalls him. We go over here on the right side with number 70, right? Against number 5. You can see here we go, and he does the move. Now he's trying to do the rip move, and our guy is kind of, the pass blocking is helping him out there. Now, if I go over here on the left side, and this isn't going to be something that you can win 100% of the time, but this is where pass blocking kicks in. Right after he does the move, now we're going to see the pass blocking is basically holding his block longer in the interaction. Let's go ahead and do one more rep here so you can see it. We're going to go hike the ball and show it to you again. You're going to see that these guys are going to go through here, and we're going to do our best to hold them off. Now, obviously, the defense went a little bit quicker on the left side, but you can see if we look at these guys as a whole, you're going to see that on the right side here, our guys get that initial blow. Now this is where pass blocking starts. And he tries to get off of it, and both our guys fight it and be able to get off of it. Now, on the left side, like I said, we held him off on the first move, and then basically he does that rip and he wins, right? And there's going to be times where this guy's going to win because that is, the dice roll of it. But more times than not, if you have a high pass block rating against somebody that you have the advantage of, they're going to hold those blocks a lot longer and give you that opportunity to basically stall the degradation timer, which basically means that at some point these guys will get off their blocks. But if we can go ahead and stall that as much as possible by holding it, you're going to have the success that you want with pass blocking being high. So for my next takeaway, guys, we're going to talk about block shed. In the last one, we talked about how pass blocking helps on that secondary move, which we call block shed moves. Well, block shed helps you go ahead and have a chance to win those block shed moves. Now, I want to say it's important that I don't believe that you have to have 99 block shed to have success. You just don't want to have low block shed. I did the test at 0, and they did not get off the player at all. I did it at 50. They didn't do much. They had a little success. And I did it at 80, and I felt like it was a 50-50 interaction. I got to 99, I felt it was almost a 50-50 interaction. It just had to be something to where the guy didn't have a small amount of block shed to where that block shed was so far off that he couldn't win. So I'm just going to kind of go through some reps here and kind of see here. This is at 80. You see that we got the block shed on the left side there with our outside player. We're just going to go through some reps and show you basically how it goes here, and you see it. That time we got it with our inside player. I'll show you what I mean by block shed, right? That was this guy named Chapman, just a regular old player here, number 93. You're going to see that the initial move here is that he's going to get stopped, right? This time he actually has a double team. And then he goes ahead. This is the block shed move, right? That guy goes ahead and does this, gets through, and gets to the quarterback, right? These are at 80 block shed, and the pass blocking is above the block shed. I want to make sure you saw that to where your pass blocking is at 90 here, your block shed's at 80. And you can see that we're not going to win every time, but you're going to see that we're going to have the ability to win off of the block shed because it's close enough towards a 50-50 interaction, okay? So, like I said before, it doesn't have to be higher than the pass block, it just has to be close. You can see here on this rep here, if you look at 93 again, he goes against them, and then he gets off that block, and he gets to there. So when it comes to block shed, you want to make sure that you have a high enough number to where you're not at a disadvantage, and you're going to see that your guys are going to win, basically 50% of the time, and you're going to have that. Now, like I said, when I got to 99, I did not see that they had a better rate of success. It just put them in the ballpark. So for my final takeaway, guys, I want to talk about what I think is king when it comes to pass rush. And that has to do with pass rush angles and your ability to get leverage on your opponent. Now, I do believe that strength and weight matter in this equation, but I'm going to show you here how getting the right pass angles is going to get you the ability to get bull rushes with space. It's going to give you the opportunity when you go and have your outside rushers do your speed moves or be able to cut inside. It's all about how you get your player to attack the offensive player, and when they make the point of contact, are they having better leverage? So I'm going to show you here in this first example, Jordan Riley. This guy is a defensive tackle. You see his power moves are 60 and his finesse moves are 60. He's the worst guy on my team. He's 60-60, okay? We're going to put him in, and I'm going to show you here how he's going to go against a right guard that's much better than him. And you're going to see with the angle that we create, we're going to be able to have a lot of success with it. You see this here, number 95 right here. This is the guy you're looking at, Riley, okay? And what you're going to see is that we're going to run this, say, 5 to 10 times. You're going to see that he's going to have the ability to get off that guy a lot of times and get to the quarterback, okay? So that rep wasn't exactly his best rep. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and see how we do this a couple times here and see what he does. See how he's got the inside angle, and now he's going to basically dominate that player. It's all about the angle in which he takes to him, okay? Now I want to show you why this works, okay? And he goes ahead and gets it again. Let me show you in instant replay what's happening here and why it's about the angle. The first thing you want to see is that we've got space once he gets off, okay? What is going to end up happening is 64 is going to kind of jump into the inside a little bit. And see how we've got all this room that when we go ahead and he slides over, we get the point of contact where this guard's feet are basically closer to the center. So once we get off of him, we've got an inside leverage to be able to get in there, okay? And it's all about moving the player, right? We do the same exact angle again. We're going to move this guy, and you can see how he is just going to get right to the quarterback and absolutely win it. 60 power moves, 60 finesse moves, does not have, a ton of, not overpowering stats and anything else. But you're going to see how he's going to win more often than not because of the angle that we go ahead and provide. Now I'm going to show you a different example here where I'm going to go ahead and change out my tackle speed. And I'm going to make sure that the offensive tackles are going to drop back further because of their speed, causing better angles for my two outside guys. So now that I got the lineup changed, I want you to look at the two outside tackles, and I just put extra speed on them so they go back further. Okay, now I didn't do anything to the defensive line. And what you're going to see is if you look at these tackles, because of their speed, it creates better angles for our players to cut inside of them. And that's basically just an experiment that I wanted to show you that it had nothing to do with our player. We didn't change anything with the defensive player, but because they dropped back quicker, they gave up the inside pressure a lot easier than they did when they were slower. So if you go ahead and look at this again, you're going to see that we're going to have that ability to get those guys to come to the inside. Just something that you want to worry about on your offensive line, that sometimes if your guy is too fast and they've got too big of a drop step, you're going to have those inside angles to get to the quarterback a lot easier in the pass rush. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is how these angles also depict how and what moves you get. As you can see here, it's outside linebacker. Because he's out so wide, he can get an outside angle, and then he can set himself up for that inside cut in order to get either the rip or the spin move. Now here with the defensive tackle, you can see here that he starts outside, then he has that inside interior to get that rip and get to the quarterback on the finesse move. So hopefully you guys got a little bit out of this video when it comes to clarity or just a little bit better understanding of how things work. Obviously, I don't know everything about it. I went ahead and did as much as I could when it comes to labbing it extensively. And those are the things that I want to make sure that you know that I can say definitively. However, everything else works, that is definitely still going to be something up in the air. And if I know more, I will definitely say it. And please, like I said, put in the comments if you guys understand or think that there's something more that I didn't put in this video. Would appreciate it. If you guys got something out of it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.